Barreiro's going to offer us now some closing remarks.
Brief. This is a lot to follow. You know, for about 100 years, the predominant attitude in the study of indigenous people, of whatever discipline, was predicated on the expectation of extinction. The whole of the disciplines was predicated on the idea that the indigenous was going to disappear. So that gave permission to gather the material culture, to gather the ethnography, to gather what people knew, because it wasn't for them. It was for over here, for science. That expectation lasted way too long, and it's in the minds of all of the disciplines and in every university. And so what we're doing, we're not alone. The indigenous world of the Americas always existed, but took real serious consciousness in mid-20th century and began to say, survival. We're still here. And then came all the arguments. Well, you don't look like you used to. You don't sound like you used to. You don't live in the same house you used to. You drive a car now. You use a rifle now. You whatever.
You use a cell phone.
As if we had no capacity for adaptation. So everything was just one negation after another. What we've seen here today in this institution, which is the highest scientific institution in the United States, the Smithsonian is a Ministry of Culture of the United States of America. What we've seen today was a highly intelligent program, but it was not an academic program.
That's right.
We put the academy in the service of the people, of the knowledge that we need. Big difference. That's what this museum is all about. That's what it was born to do. Whether it will ultimately retain that identity is still a game to be fought over, because the Smithsonian Institution has the capacity to take it all in and adapt whatever you say and create it for itself. That's the way it is. That's the way the academy is generally. But we did something different here. I think it's a watershed moment. I wasn't sure I was going to be able to say that. You never know how a gathering like this will go. But I really do believe we are in a watershed moment as a Taíno movement, as a Taíno people, that we're going here. We've brought into this center ourselves. We didn't come here to be talked about. We didn't come here to be studied. We understand study. We didn't come here for that. We didn't come here to prove ourselves. We didn't bring any certificate. Here's where I am. We didn't bring that. We know. We're starting to know more and more who we are. And we are the base of all these countries. We're the first base of all this country. We're the first layer. We're not the only, but we are the first layer. That connection to the land, that connection to the knowledge, the natural knowledge, that connection to the values of generations. We value the generations. We have children coming up out of the ground. That changed. That idea of extinction changed. It got taken over. It lands in Geneva in the United Nations in 1977. For the first time, something was said that came from the communities, that didn't come from the governments, that didn't come from the scientists. All allies, potentially, all people to deal with, all people to respect, but let's not give up this. And I think as we go forward, we're going to remember this day, and it's going to be a little harder to tear down on your neighbor, and to talk down the other Taínos, because it's not going to be our value, because we don't want that. We don't want that. And the young people Especially the young people don't want it because they're a better generation than we were. We fought for our thing and we're all flawed. We're all full of wounds and scars and angers, things that deviate our judgment. We're all full of ego, especially the males. Especially the males. Few females too. But that's okay because people can change. And we're just saying change. Let go of that charisma feeling. Because when you just follow a leader, he may or may not, but he may take you over that cliff. And you may not see where you're going. So I'm going to close with the words of an elder that I appreciate, that led us into the United Nations. That's from the people of my wife, who is here, Gaji Cook, one of my primary teachers in my life, is my wife for 40 years.
Vaya.
Thank her. Real simple, he said, be your own leader. Thank you. Go home. Be careful. Make it.
Gracias a usted.
Gracias.